Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I'm recording on a whole different device, and the screen recording is a whole different ballgame on this device, so I apologize that it just got cut off midway through the video. So anyways, what was that? That would have been part 4. We are now on part 5. We have made it to the 19th overt act. Here we go. All right. July 4th, 2022. Using coded language on text messages. Mako, I have no idea how to pronounce that name, guys. I apologize. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful. Told an unidentified person that he was selling pills, believed to be oxycodone, on Manchester and Figueroa. The very next day, July 5th, 2022, using coded language on text messages, same defendant told an unidentified person that he had oxycodone for sale. July 8th, 2022, using coded language in Instagram messages, Israel attempted to recruit a sex worker by explaining he only beats sex workers when they steal from him or disrespect him. But not if they do not generate a certain amount of money. Okay, so basically, like, he's saying he only beats them for disrespect, I guess, and not if they don't generate a certain amount of money. Okay. That really wouldn't make much of a difference to me, but okay. I'm mouthy, you know what I mean? I just come out with stuff. I would be like the worst worker for a pimp to deal with, because I just can't shut up. And I'd get hit in the face 100 times. Like, what did I do? And still, I wouldn't shut up. Okay. July 16, 2022, defendant Crockham posted an Instagram story paying homage to the Hoovers with an image setting forth all the Hoover sets by number and set moniker with a message at the bottom reading 716 gang or don't gang, pledging loyalty to the Hoovers. Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but okay. All right. Defendant Gray. Okay, so now we're talking about Defendant Gray. On April 21st, 2022, Defendant Gray and 2 unindicted co-conspirators, why are they unindicted, drove into the area of West 6th Street and North G Street in San Bernardino, California, a street notorious for prostitution activities. What does it matter if they drove there? That's not against the law. Why is that an overt act? I'm confused. That like is a whole overt act here, just driving on a street? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, overt act number 24. Gray and 2 unindicted co-conspirators followed suspected sex workers on a known blade in San Bernardino, pulled over their car, and attempted to force 2 female victims into their car. Defendant Gray grabbed one victim, but she broke free. Then Defendant Gray reversed the car to position it closer to his co-conspirators, who was restraining another victim. Defendant Gray exited the car and helped his co-conspirator physically force the woman into the car. But the woman ultimately broke free and ran away. Oh my God. Y'all, that was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago. Like, what the hell? Just in broad daylight, forcing these women into your car. They just get away with it. I mean, up until now, obviously, but still. Okay. Overt act number 25. April 6th, 2022, encoded text messages. Amako threatened victim 2, which is his sex trafficking victim, that he was watching her and that she better stay alert in the car where he saw her sitting. Okay. July 24th, 2022. Again, using coded text messaging. Mako threatened the same victim 2. I'ma fracture every bone in your face. He then shifted to guilting her, asking, you really gonna leave daddy in this cold world, knowing you all I got? Defendant Amoko also claimed that he elevated victim 2 every day, when defendant Amoko did not. receive his desired responses, he shifted back to threats, swearing on the Hoovers that he would remember this and adding, "Fuck you, bitch. Die out here on the blade. And hope a trick rape and kill you, leave you on the side of a freeway." Damn. He also threatened to kick down victim two's mother's door and noted the apartment number to show he knew where she lived. When victim 2 said she would go to the police, Amoko threatened to have her assaulted for snitching and vowed he would wire her jaw shut. He further threatened, "Yeah, better watch your dates. Might be your last one." That's also like a tactic like abusive boyfriends will show. It's like they'll like sit there and act like they need you and stuff, and when they know that's not getting anywhere, then all of a sudden it switches to insults and, degradation. You see it all the time. It happens all the time. Okay. Not just with pimps, but with boyfriends too, is what I'm saying. Like, I've seen boyfriends do that to their girlfriends. Like, not good boyfriends, obviously. And also, girlfriends do it too. Bad girlfriends do it too. I mean, like, it's not about gender. Okay. September 12th, 2022, using coded messages, victim 2 told defendant Amoko that she gave him more than $1,000 in commercial sex proceeds, hoping that it would put her back in good standing with him. Amoko replied that her job was not done, and that she needed to continue contributing to the team effort. Later, when victim 2 wrote to the defendant, "Daddy, I love you," he responded that she was dead to him. Okay. On September 16th, 2022, in a coded text messages, Amoko again threatened to harm victim 2's mother and said he would go to her house. Well, so much for being done with her. Okay. Overt Act number 29. June 17th, 2023. Using coded messages, victim 2 told defendant Amoko that she wanted to come back to him and prove herself. Amoko insisted that if she returned, she would have to follow his rules and instructed her on her role in his stable, including making the other workers feel welcome. Amoko said that if she followed his program, victim 2 would be granted with everything she wished for, and added, "I need to mold you back into the way I want you." Wow. Okay. It's just hard to read through this. I'm not going to lie, because this is a problem. This is a big problem, like with men manipulating women this way. And like I said, women manipulating men this way, just people doing this to people. Like, I mean, studies have been done on this, like the culture like this creates. But anyway, it's vile. Okay. Between at least December 1st, 2022 and February 17th, 2025, Israel sex trafficked adult victim 3 through threats of force, fraud, or coercion. So obviously in this indictment, they do have victims and witnesses like testifying, I would assume. All right. May 29th, 2023, in Las Vegas, Nevada, victim 3 got into her car, and as she was attempting to leave Israel, he threw a large alcohol bottle through her rear passenger window. All right. Overt Act number 32. November 17, 2023, using coded messages on Instagram, Israel directed victim 3 to rob a John in Las Vegas. Victim 3 informed Israel that the John had a Rolex watch. She said that she would also take $1,750 in chips, $2,800 in cash, and $450 in Apple Pay Victim 3 confirmed that John took the watch off and she got it. Wow. Putting her in danger like that. February 10, 2024. Israel physically assaulted his sex trafficking victim, Victim 3, punching and kicking her in a bathroom. After Victim 3 fell back onto the toilet, Israel continued to beat her on her back and side when she curled into a ball to protect herself. All right, overt act number 34. October 23rd, 2024, using code of language, same guy, same victim, Victim 3 and defendant Israel. Victim 3 reported that she broke a date for $3,200 and that she made $3,800 in total for the night. Israel directed Victim 3 to send him the money on Cash App. Overt act number 35, between approximately October 24, 2024 and October 25th, 2024, like one day. At defendant Israel's direction, Victim 3 sent defendant Israel approximately $2,400 on Cash App. October 25th, 2024, using code of language over messages, Israel instructed Victim 3 to pick up oxycodone from his drug contact at the Venetian Hotel. Overt act number 37, same day, also using code of messages, Israel told Victim 3 that he was saving money and had a goal to save $100,000 to $200,000 so that Victim 3 could take a break from work. What? What a lie. Could take a break from working for him in order to have defendant Israel's baby. Victim 3 agreed that she would not want to work in sex trafficking while pregnant. Shortly after, Victim 3 reported to defendant Israel that she was going up to a hotel room for a commercial sex date and later reported that she made $700. Damn. Okay, on or before October 31st, 2024, defendant Israel assaulted Victim 3 and made her face bleed. Victim 3 had made $20,000 and had given all the money to defendant Israel. $20,000. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so infuriating. Imagine all the crap she had to do to. Oh my God. To make that much money. And she had to hand it all over to that piece of shit. And he's lying to her, saying he's like saving it all until he reaches a certain amount to give back to her. He's lying to her. Like, it's clearly a lie. To have his baby. God. So this must be like a real thing that happens to these predators. Like, they get in their head that they... Like, what? It's not enough just to make money on all of it. Now you want to start, like, a freaking baby farm? Like, what the fuck? It just gets sicker and sicker and sicker. Okay. November 6, 2024, using code of messages, Israel and Victim 3 discussed at least 3 luxury watches that Victim 3 had stolen for Israel. Israel informed Victim 3 that he was on his way to pick her up. November 11th, defendant Israel asked Victim 3 if she had stolen a certain watch from a specific hotel because he planned to wear it out of the house. On or before November 25th, 2024, Israel ripped out Victim 3's hair, hit her in the face, and caused her knees to bleed from dragging her. Overt act number 42. December 21st, 2024, using coded messages, Victim 3, trying to satisfy Israel's desire for money, told Israel that she was willing to solicit sex work on the Figueroa corridor until Christmas Day if she could not find sex work in the Vegas hotels. Israel applied the, quote, love reaction to the message and told her to keep the faith that she could make money. See, this is how they keep them in there. You see, because it's not all like horrible, horrific stuff. Like, they'll throw these little things here and there to make them feel a little bit special. Like, that's how they keep them in it. Because then, through all the horrible grief and terribleness, the victims are sitting there thinking, well, he was nice to me that one time. It's just so horrible to see. Like, I'm glad she's helping the police. If this victim 3, hopefully she's helping the police with this indictment. I'm glad she is. Okay. All right. So, yeah, after applying the love bomb, victim 3 reported to Israel the hotels in which she tried to find dates and reported how much money she had made. Okay. December 22nd, 2024, defendant Israel receives a report from victim 3 using coded language over text messages on which hotels she had attempted to enter, explained that she had been out 11 hours that day, had worked 12 hours the day before, but kept getting kicked out of hotels. Ooh. That's bad. Even Vegas has higher standards than Figueroa does, apparently. I mean, Vegas is like known for sex work. And if you're that obvious you're getting kicked out of Vegas hotels, you're obviously doing it wrong. Because like Vegas doesn't care that you're doing it. They just ask that you be smart and not make it obvious, you know? And apparently they couldn't do that. Okay. And that's not her fault. I'm not blaming her. Okay. December 29, 2024, using coded languages, victim 3 told Israel that she was on a commercial sex date, that she intended to steal a watch for Israel from the safe in the John's room. Israel instructed victim 3 to close the safe after she took the watch, so the victim did not notice the theft until the morning. He also instructed her to calmly leave the room because the security cameras would record her leaving. Approximately 10 minutes later, victim 3 asked defendant Israel to pick her up, and defendant Israel again reminded her to close the safe. So, like, it wasn't even enough that they were making money off these Johns and stuff. Like, he was, like, encouraging her to steal from them, which would put her in even more danger. Obviously, like, you really think that these Johns wouldn't hesitate to beat the crap out of these women if they were stealing from them? Of course. And in fact, some of these Johns are probably expecting these women to try to steal from them, if truth be told. So yeah, obviously he is not saving no 100,000 to give to her to have a baby. That's a whole bunch of bullcrap. Okay. December 29th, using coded language again. Oh no! Israel apologized for breaking victim 3's nose after she pointed a gun at him. So how long was this after? It was the same day. Oh my God. It was the same day that she stole from that John and shut the safe. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe that's why she got her nose broke. Oh my God. But it must have been bad enough where she pointed a gun at him. Oh, Jesus. It was on the same day. Bless her heart. I'm just picturing it play out of my mind. And I'm thinking like, okay. She's like, come get me, come get me. What if the John had stopped her from stealing from him or something and she was trying to get out of there? She's like, come get me, come get me. All right, close the safe. And then he comes and picks her up and finds out that she doesn't have any Rolexes. Maybe there wasn't even a Rolex in the safe. And then he just like, oh my God. It's just, these disgusting humans, bro. Okay, but apparently it all went wrong. It could have been over for something totally unrelated than the watches or whatnot. But at some point, the evening went sour. She points a gun at her pimp, and he breaks her nose. And he apologizes for it the same day. Obviously, I guess he probably thinks that breaking the nose is a little too far. Plus, she's got to make money. Now she's got to wait for her nose to heal. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Overt act number 46. So this is like, what, about a week later or something like that. January 4th, 2025. In a voice message on Instagram, using coded language, Israel acknowledged to victim 3 that he had hit her and said that he would not do it again. After briefly acknowledging his own violence, Israel claimed that victim 3 knew he was not a bad person because if he was, she would have pressed domestic violence charges and would not have returned to him. Wow. It's like, babe, you know I'm not a bad person. If you really thought I was a bad person, you would have pressed charges, but you didn't. Because you love me. You know I'm not a bad person. Okay. Then Israel threatened that if victim 3 could not, quote, control her anger and continue to report his violence to police, he would leave her. Wait a minute. Continue? Maybe she did report it at some point. That's a little confusing. Because for a moment there, he's like, you haven't turned me in. And then he's like, you did. That's a little confusing. But anyway. Okay, so now we get to defendant Evans and victim 4. Between 2022, 2025. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to have to come back and do this part. But stay tuned. I'll be right back. How do I turn off the screen recording, bro? All right, tap to stop. Okay, here we go. I'll be right back, guys.